Hi, my name's Adelle. I'm originally from Old Trafford, Manchester. I was brought up around the drug scene. Both my parents were addicts. And by the age of 5, I moved into a drug rehab centre with my mum. I ended up going to 13 different schools. And by the time I was 15, I had my own child. I even started to take drugs, and I was drinking at the weekends. And at the age of 19, my dad came to stay with me. And I woke up in the morning one day to find him dead on my living room floor. So my dad died because I'd scored him some drugs. I remember talking with him the night before, and I didn't want to go, but he mithered me, so I ended up scoring those drugs for him. And when I woke up in the morning and found him dead on my living room floor, all I felt was guilt, fear, and shame. For 9 years, I lived with that guilt, fear, and shame. Until one day, I was invited to a conference called Fixed. There were lights and smoke machines, and the music was amazing. The atmosphere was electric. I couldn't believe that this was church. There were so many times during that day, opportunities for me to respond to the messages that were spoken. I felt like people were speaking right to my life, right directly to me through what they were saying. I could relate to what these speakers were talking about when they were talking about their life's experiences. And I thought, has somebody been talking to them about me? What's people been saying to them about my life? And then in the evening, about 9 o'clock at night, Barry got up and he spoke his message. And at the end of his message, he said, if you've been living with guilt, shame, or fear in your life, then put God in the driving seat of your life. If you want to put God in the driving seat of your life tonight, then come to the front and someone will pray with you. And I remember thinking, what have I got to lose? So I left my seat and I went to the front. And as I was walking to the front, I felt the guilt and the shame and the fear all drop off me. And when this woman came to pray with me, Lisa, she prayed with me, and I felt like I was being filled with the love that I'd been searching for my whole life. And I knew then that my life was going to change. So after the Fixed conference in March 2013, the very next week, I went to church. And it wasn't long after that, a few months, that Barry contacted me. And he asked me if I wanted to do some voluntary work for Proclaim Trust. Well, of course, I said yes. I was thrilled. And I ended up working for Barry for 4 years after that. I started voluntary, and then I got a little paid job as an administrator in the office. And that lasted for 4 years. Whilst I worked with Barry at the Trust, I had so many opportunities. I was able to speak in schools and prisons, in various churches around the UK, and I went about sharing my story. So what have I been doing since Fixed? Well, straight after Fixed, I went to Cook Community Church, Rochdale. Within 6 months, I was baptised. What an amazing experience. It was there that I met my husband. He was the pastor's son. The child of an addict, me, meeting my future husband, the pastor's son. So since getting married to Brad, my husband, we've done some amazing things. I've even gone on to do some theological study, and now I'm training to be a minister. I'm doing a course called MIT, which means Minister in Training. And now, both me and my husband, we're going to be pastoring the church that I first attended after Fixed. How amazing is that? Isn't it amazing what God does in your life?